Namo Tuba yulen 了小色罗塞巴松那对面原点原则有啊求助全国的拉民主啊共建让切法跟巴结不能在拉小色罗内罗就能牛肚不接着早秋中给撒些早马罗前面多接大步不些的两面的我在拉小色当到你的机关没学到毛王圣洁所能多些最近的那人在忙着的古老家在这拉小色罗放在刚年做这东西撒钱的那好吧的我那里就得抽结送的这个把这拉小色罗当我个的来也有那些要不搞得永结龙所就路边的走着都花灯中天来也拉拉小色罗这也看到妈妈姐姐住小姐中途小牛如此世间的所杀所搞得些是从中年不拉小色罗中年过去这边出点确定能把中的物质是那边将年中途搞得中年的当的了小色罗家不搞得当街用花的用花去的是让是罗马的罗头发我上街前边一些花了小色罗花了那是去接可罗滚在这早早去着前坡在早就中的公把两年的兔年能发着了小色罗这个对面老婆兄弟这边做了多少的花也给着我婚结这花样这些姐姐在当送来说对些些花结果见着上过当过些才当习惯了姐姐谁就上我接着我在这过年到所以就我就去了这些说话大概到时候看到那边啥就是那让我到这些话呢就当这些个我在都说让我今天看出些话呢对吧你越听多少话呢对这不落那些些话对吧有人也被抓起更人多满就把南街叫三街这把面来这把不落人家说这把面被用前面也把这把人把这把兄弟的这些后来小多这把不落光着等给到人多小声小姐让这些一些发言这也超子了吗？那不然就没超子
造罗日罗道的米生给的奥个毛个当年就在边就这把钱真的没不然在乱想造罗几天却让他不来叫我当看那么多黄钱怎么也不当的这头来给要是中人在了长草路会叫我来听过那些年今年后来些年将去年弄到中国你来你让个中人在了长草路这里将就这个来过没人将年当个罗主的高安见这政治I have to switch it off for now. Okay, I'll switch it on later on. Okay. 用不三间呢，讲究做不然在乱上造乱，不见着乱有个谁？我让那些拉索那种都确见火炉过年都讲能推把送来个这创造。渐渐国外人把咱渐渐没得等把主当来建设，我们这个有个土把有来就来创造了些个生产对面人的年个以后创造了政府，半面着我跟接了全把等把接把在了创造了了建年个国际建咱就中给三界国际的人都然在了创造两大年的一般没知道梦神经是能统计忙着呢果断插进在了创造路梦着他年走着撒进的了公办的不能俺人几点的能超级上的这个把就了当不可的来也有那些家伙搞个人接龙水就龙的那也差不多中的来也好了讲走路下也看到慢慢这件这超级中的热闹世界那座上座高度些是从美国了讲走路中间过些教育出的那中的你了你让个中了走了中中这这你正当着了唱走路交给靠的浪尖用吧用把见到这位长子不马个大热头把我上见前辈也先把了唱要让那是确见活动过这点咋个就是进步的早就中的红班头年南看着了唱子轮得到等别的过正等等这边出了多长给人着我跟着这把样得些去见在当从不来说得些些把结果些过当估计才当新港当切见成就让我进着玩点着过那大手去了对见手腕大边的大手刚的那边啥就是那点我们他这些却当这些漂亮在都说等把几点看着将把当等把你先多少等进不落大进结果也等把有人那边这些天南的什么些把你先给个大概马路的大灯绿灯我也当为查接我让我这边马浪都大给叫我他们一接我先给对你绿绕的把也叫我跟了绕的上草路的接电脑对你三界世界我那就过能得到切记也能马两把他们接叫我的给个 Tadang Hapa Mise Janso Nam Yanje Yela Janso Drabin Jin Jawa Yende Rabje Jende Vrai Sheva Namje Dage Medo Damba Chengwa Dam Senye Namdan Chube Dunjo Dam Marmen Chodan Dube Damba Ye Jawa Dada Lame Chebra Namdan Jinjo Dan Cheme Purma Jirawa Nyamba Dan Keba Chebram Paben Chogun Jawa Dada Lame Chebran Jin Lazwa Kanam Lame Jache Wan Dada Jawa Tamje Lai Mambo Jala Tebe Tobdan Jawa Kanla Chansan Chebran Jin Dacha Chedan Temo Lidang Adan Dejin Yeje Jan Diba Dagi Jiba Jinjen Deda Tamje Dagi Sosoro Sha Choju Kundan Sanje Zeranja Namdan Hopdan Mil Hopdan Ruwa Kunji Sanam Deda Kunji Jezo Daji Ram Ganam Jojun Jiden Ramman Jancho Rimbra Sanje Mambo Deda Meba Kuwar Nyangin Dada Kanjin Dada Lando Wakun Lam Panshin Dewe Jin Kawa Shingen Dunye Dagi Tamo Rabja Suwanji Chansa Wadan Chechin Shabadan Jesu Yiram Kushin Jawa Chunze Dagi Chisaba Tamje Dagi Janjo Bodin Zarama Rinpoche, Dage Jimon, Pemene Jula, Katin Jimbo, Jizon, the Kuson, Tuja, Modern Zadu, so Nam Udamuji, Chubum Dalam Yegananda, Dog, Jagage Jamba, and Jacket, and Jagan. Good afternoon, dear my friends. It's a pleasure to be with you today here at this beautiful place here in Sweden. I welcome all of you for this occasion, for this gathering. It's quite clear that most of us are gathered here, almost all of us are gathered here for one thing only, that is our respect and devotion and love for Buddha Dharma. And so therefore, it's for me, it's of course very easy to begin this practice of offering you the practice of taking the refuge of Buddha Dharma and Sangha. I think most of us are generally familiar with this practice, the formal practice. For a number of years, due to our own interest, due to our own inspiration that we see in the ways of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, that we feel comfortable, that someone speaks to us in a way, that it is very much how we feel when we go about our daily lives. That it is not defined by a rule or a law or a system, but very naturally that the way things are sort of begin to, I suppose, speak to us in a way. And so therefore the way we practice here is sort of very natural to us. It's not forced upon us, it's not implemented on us, it just comes naturally, just like breathing, just like seeing, just like our own heartbeat. It just sort of comes naturally to us. Even if it stops, it's still very natural to us. So, of course, today in some ways it's a very simple practice. It's nothing elaborate at all. It is known as one of the very first steps into following the ways of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And it is a very preliminary practice. Some would call it baby practice. But of course we should never underestimate the benefit of this practice, because it's fundamental in a way. Fundamental in terms of the way it gives us a very simple approach, a very comfortable approach in the way we deal with everything. We are pretty much experts by now, of course, in the way we have lived so far. Up to this age, we are pretty much adequate in terms of being able to engage with various things in this life. So we're not, how to say, just complete amateurs. We're not complete beginners. We pretty much know our way. Our mind is quite clear, quite sane, quite transparent, and so therefore we know what is what. The spiritual guide, however, in this case, is just in case. In some ways it could be like a backup, let's say, that would help us remind ourselves in one way, and in another act as a sort of system where it gives us the right amount of awareness, so that if anything is missed or missed out, then we are able to somehow reflect and therefore take care of it in a way. And so therefore, this idea of taking refuge, of course, is nothing new at all. We have known this ever since we were born. We are quite familiar with it. We do understand that we do need to resort, very professionally of course, that we do need to resort to advisors, guides, if we are a little bit confused, if we are a little bit unaware. But afterwards, of course, we pretty much understand that we can perform all the things by ourselves. The practice of refuge, however, in this case, introduces, in some ways, I suppose, reintroduces the way we see things every day in such a way that we're able to how do you say it? The way we engage with everything is in some ways renewed, I suppose. Refuge, of course, the word itself, in Tibetan known as Gyabsundro, in some ways probably to the modern culture that we live in, maybe it's quite obsolete, maybe it's unnecessary, but nevertheless, maybe another interpretation of the refuge is basically seeking a way to, temporarily seeking a way to understand the way everything functions. In short, the material or physical or this very experience that we live, that we experience itself, of course, it comes in a sort of, not as a package, but it comes across to us in a way that it has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. And so therefore, we are trying to sort of understand what these sort of steps mean. And so therefore, the practice of refuge in a way is a very profound and a very simple way of describing all of that to us in a very short span of time. The moment we are sort of unaware of these happenings, then immediately there is a sort of a little bit of a sort of defensive or a backward step towards it, in terms of birth of something different, something new. It gives us a little bit of a shock, a little bit of a surprise. And of course, equally, it is the same when it comes to the continuation of something. And then equally, it is the same with the end of that stream as well. And so therefore, we are constantly trying to deal with these sort of processes. The process of a beginning, the process of a middle, and the process of an end, which occurs as long as there is the causes and conditions, it always occurs. It's sort of unstoppable. And one way to describe that is karma, of course. That it's unstoppable. As long as there's causes and conditions, it begins, it continues, and it comes to an end. And that's the thing that we are sort of always fascinated about. That's the thing that we are always concerned about. That's the thing that we are sometimes excited about and equally worried about. So, of course, relatively we can say that the experience that we are experiencing now is that much of the continuation of that stream in a way. And so what we're worried about is for tomorrow, is the next moment, what would happen, and what would be like if it comes to an end. And so therefore we are constantly sort of curious about it, we are constantly excited about it, and we are equally worried about it. And so seeking refuge, of course, it's a very interesting practice because it talks about, it of course sounds like as if there is, of course, according to the custom and the tradition and the rituals that we follow, it's just like any other religion, of course, that there is a higher being, there's a divinity, someone who knows better than us, someone who knows the system, someone who knows the way things are supposed to function. And so therefore basically we're trying to seek a sort of a sense of sanctuary through them. That's just a way of communication, nothing more. It's just a metaphor. The truth is that refuge is sort of a way to, I think, personally, it's a way to develop a sense of courage. Courage in a way that, not that we don't have courage, but we have courage, but a way to build up our courage, a way to strengthen our courage, to be able to sort of, so that we are able to open our eyes and to witness these processes of beginning, middle, and end, without or with less fear, with less anxiety, so that then we are able to be, at the end of the day, be ourselves. We're not trying to become something or someone else. We're trying to be just be ourselves the way we are right now, but with awareness. And so therefore this refuge, the practice of refuge, what it does is that it helps us to accept the facts as they are, without any kind of alteration, without any kind of influence, without any kind of agenda. Often, of course, now, when a person, whether they are charismatic or not, someone begins to talk about these things, of course, immediately the conditioned mind's nature is such that we feel that as if now we are converging into something, and as a result of it then we feel that we are following a certain path, a certain law, and then what comes with it is then all kinds of baggages, I suppose, in terms of what we can do and what we cannot do and so on. So over here what we are trying to do with the practice of the refuge is so that we are trying to develop a sense of trust. Trust in a way that if there's a beginning, that there will be naturally an end. And we have witnessed this every day. We have witnessed this day in and day out, all the time. It's just that we have, either due to habit, due to mentality, due to culture, somehow we are able to somehow disregard this. Very simple, very simply. And as a result of it, I never really pay attention to these. And so with the practice, with the spirituality, what happens is that we are beginning to open our awareness, develop our awareness, open our senses, so that we are trying to become a little bit aware of that. That everything that has a beginning, has an end, what goes up must come down. With every little event, it has that nature. And so therefore we're just trying to become aware of it, to trust it, have devotion to it, and refuge in a way that at the end of the day, when we take refuge into something or someone, let's say, it's a sign of trust, it's a sign of complete trust. And in this case, of course, we must be very clear that we are not developing this trust, developing this confidence out of fear, but out of very simply trust itself. So, taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha is what it means is that we are trying to sort of open ourselves. We say open heart. We are trying to open ourselves into this it could seem very spiritual to us, it could seem very mundane to us, whatever form that it approaches to us every day, that at least we are trying to open ourselves up to these experiences, and then sort of give ourselves a little room to trust. Of course, we cannot ask ourselves to go all out. It's unreasonable, it's not logical, and it doesn't make sense. But at least we can give it a beginning according to our capacity, according to our understanding, according to how much we understand, how used to, how we are used to. So accordingly we give a bit of an opening. And this opening is initially seems very foreign to us. It seems like an invasion in a way, this opening part. Because we feel that we are quite comfortable where we are. We feel we are quite comfortable what we know so far. But then this, whatever format this process of opening, it seems foreign to us, open and new to us. And so therefore we have a little bit of a resistance. But it's just like anything new that we start, that if you give it a bit of time, then it will become natural to us. Of course, now I'm saying all of this in a way that as if we are practicing for the very first time. Now, to most of us, I suppose, in this tent, I'm sure most of you recognize, many of you, of course, and for many years, of course, you've been practicing. So, therefore, of course, the way I introduce this might seem quite redundant, a bit of a repetition. And so, in that regard, then what I can say is that practice of refuge at the end of the day is just a way to let go of our own, what we always call the ego, what we have always a problem with, the self. And because the very act of refuge is to give up that. And that's the hardest thing for us to do. And at the end of the day, no matter what form of modern era that we are living in, at the end of the day, no matter how open we
is still the same. Nothing has changed. The more it changes, the more it's the same. So it has always been the same. So therefore, the practice of refuge is, at the end of the day, it's a very well thought out, well prepared system where we are able to have a little bit of, I don't know if it's the right word, leeway, so to let go a little bit of that ego. Simply because the object of our desire is something very soothing to us, something very pleasant to us. The idea of an enlightened state is very, very appealing to us. It's at the end of the day what we're all looking for. And so therefore, the moment we think of it, the moment we imagine it, the moment we meditate on it, we are able to somehow feel that as if this thing that we have been hanging on to for so long is kind of unnecessary. It's kind of obsolete, almost useless. And so therefore we are able to let go. And so the practice of refuge does exactly that. That focusing on the qualities of what an enlightened state or being is, immediately commands the respect and commands the willpower to be able to let go of this idea of just one single little person, and immediately inspires us to think of something more than that. Just like a caring guide or a caring parent or a caring father or mother, that immediately seeing the benefit, actually not just benefit actually, benefit of course is, it portrays something else altogether. Maybe that's not what we are looking for. Maybe it's beyond benefit. In a way that when we see a helpless person, it's not because we need to see a helpless person, but the moment we are in a helpless situation and a person being in that situation immediately sort of drives us, although of course we have no relation whatsoever in terms of who that person is, what kind of background that person carries, what kind of habitual pattern this person has. Who knows what kind of person it will turn out in time. It just, all of those logics and reasons just goes out of the window, right there and then. And immediately we feel a sense of wanting and wishing to help. And it's something like that. And of course we describe that part as quality and benefit. But it's, at the end of the day, it's not benefit in terms of you do something to earn something and you get a reward. It's not really in that sense. Sometimes, of course, it works in that way. But when we do see that, okay, because we are so used to this idea of exchange, that if you work hard for it, then you will earn something out of that. So, of course, we have that due to this society's nature. We are somehow accustomed to that, and so therefore the idea of benefit comes across like that. But the real benefit is actually seeing that. It's like if the ice is sort of near a fire or something like that, immediately just, without any kind of real reason actually, without any kind of logic, it just sort of melts in the same way. So what drives us is, of course, commonly known, the very factor that drives a person with heart is none other than compassion or the loving kindness. I don't know how accurate these words are, these English terms, but nevertheless, the terms such as karuna, which is a Sanskrit word to describe, I think, a very positive and genuine sort of expression of oneself, and what comes afterwards, if that's maintained, if that rhythm is maintained, then soon after then it will become very natural to us to generate what is known as the maitri, the loving kindness, the caring part develops. And this is it. This is the very factor that helps us develop this kind of compassion, kind of caring. And as a result of it, then we are able to trust, have confidence, have very strong devotion. So much so that then we are able to give up everything for it. Of course, we call that sacrifice, but that sounds very dramatic. But what it really is that we are able to somehow let go of whatever we thought was so important till now, and basically do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever needs to be accomplished. And so therefore, the kind of practice of refuge that we are trying to get into is that of the ways of the Bodhisattvas. And so what they are motivated, these so-called Bodhisattvas, what they are driven by is this very compassion, this act of loving kindness. And so they are driven by that. Of course, the natural progression is that initially, which is a little bit of a contrast with the Bodhisattva's way, is that the natural way is, of course, that we see that I don't want to be in a state of confusion. I don't want to be confused. I don't want to be in a state of turmoil. And so therefore I want to overcome this. And therefore then seeking the ways of the Buddhas, of the Buddhas. Whereas the Bodhisattva's way is that more than that, the very first step is somehow driven by what you see in front of you, let's say. That you're driven by what you see in front of you, the state that others are in, the confused state that others are in, and even though you don't have the means, even though you don't have the ability to do anything about it, you are as equally helpless as others. Somehow you feel that you want to do something about it. Just like a caring parent, that any parent that we know, either in this life or former lives or from any century or millennium or from any generation, that they are all more or less the same. Yes? Meaning that they don't know. They know just as we know. They don't know any better of what is right for us, what is beneficial for us, what is good for us. All they can see is that when they reflect on what they had gone through and what kind of possibilities, logical possibilities that we could fall into, just through that imagination alone, that they are driven already to do something about it, although they don't know what to do. Maybe all they know is what their parents taught them, what their friends taught them, but nothing more. But even then, no matter how handicapped their handicapped they are in terms of how little they know, but they're willing to do everything that they can do within their reach. And so they're willing to give up everything, just so that they think that they're able. What they think is most beneficial for us. They're willing to provide that. So the beginning, the way the Bodhisattva's way of taking refuge begins that way, in short. So therefore, you don't have to be, you don't have to feel that we cannot falter, we cannot make any mistake. Often we are, due to our various mentalities of the cultures, we feel that we cannot make any mistake, that we must make sure that we must get it right in the first place, so that we have a chance, so that we have a future. Fortunately, according when we follow this way of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, or the particular spiritual way, that there is nothing wrong actually. There is no room for mistake in a way that there is no wrong way, that everything is the right way. So therefore, we can completely let go of this fear that I cannot make any mistake. And so therefore have already a very comfortable journey in the beginning. Very, very comfortable. So all we need is this caring aspect for others. So it could be anyone. It could be our parents, it could be our children, it could be our friends, it could be our colleagues. We can start from anywhere. There is no absolute way. That any beginning is the right beginning. And from there, then it starts. And then we begin to open, whatever we call it, consciousness, mind, heart, whatever we call it, whatever we feel comfortable. Basically a part of us, or in other words, ourselves, we open ourselves. Open heart. The most noble part of the heart, the most caring part of ourselves, the most open part of ourselves. Actually, if some of you are interested in languages, I'm sure, if you follow any of the words that describes open heart, happiness, heart, mind in various other languages, actually you might have very different angles about what this means actually, what devotion means. Because each language and culture is able to describe a little different part of the devotion, trust. So, for refuge, what we need at the end of the day, we call it devotion. And in Tibetan it is known as Tepa. And Tepa, of course, the way we are used to, of course, is a sort of a very hierarchical sort of way of developing devotion. And within our remoteness, within our environment, it works. All we need is a target, an object of respect. And as long as we have that, then it works. I think in a way we were fortunate for a long, long time because we have had no other distraction. We had no real entertainment. Whereas, of course, what comes with the package of the modernity is that there are a lot of entertainment. And in terms of, forget of course the very obvious parts, but just the idea itself is that there are so many possibilities. How I could be, where I could be, when I could be, the idea of right time and the right place. So as a result of it, we have so much entertainment in this contemporary era. Whereas back in those days, I think, they were fortunate in some ways that there were no such sort of objects of interest that could entertain us, so much so that it could distract us from developing devotion. And so therefore, we were able to somehow carry out the practice of these sacred practices for a very long time, generation after generation, without much disturbance. Of course, occasionally there are things, of course, worldly things that comes and goes, but nothing that sort of lingers for a long, long time. I mean, every day. And as a result of it, we were able to develop very strong devotion, very strong trust. And due to that, then we were able to focus more and more on these very virtuous practices. Although, of course, now that we are living in a very different context, it might seem that somehow we are far more distant and far more, how do you say, due to the conditions, unaware of these precious facts. But it doesn't mean that, as I say, we have lost everything. In fact, of course, with the modernity that we have at our grasp, in some ways we have far more opportunities than before. If you look at the positive side of it, whatever we have understood so far, we are able to share with others in an instant, and not just to a few individuals, but to a large, to everyone basically. And so therefore we are living at a very exciting time in some ways. Because with it comes a lot of responsibilities. Responsibilities that we must make sure that the same old thing, that we cannot make any mistakes when we communicate. So of course that brings a little bit of worry, but otherwise nothing has really changed. Yes, the way we dress up, the way we function, the way we communicate may have been a little bit changed, but at the end of the day, the fundamental things are still there. The sun rises, the sun sets. No matter how modern we have become, we still have to have 3 meals a day. We still have to sleep. We still have to get up. We still have to carry out our responsibility as a family member, either as a father or mother or son or daughter. All of those things are still the same. Nothing has changed. And so therefore, in a way, we don't really have to be too frightened that we are now too distant from all those precious opportunities. As long as we're able to give ourselves a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of push, we'll be able to give a very good start and give very good, of course, space for continuation. And so therefore, what I'm trying to say is that all we need to do is push ourselves a little bit just at the beginning. It's like a snowball, of course. But in the beginning, we need to give it a little bit of energy to form that ball. And once we give it a push, a little bit of energy, then soon afterwards it sort of rolls by itself without any kind of effort. It says that once we begin to follow this virtuous path, then whether we are eating or walking or talking or sleeping or awake, does not matter. But the merit will continue to accumulate. Those are the words of Shantideva, of course. And so it's the same. That all we need to do is just, at the start, we need to give it a little bit of push. That's all we need. In terms of quality, essence, seed, whatever we call it, all of those are with us. We are born with it. And no matter how much we have changed, it doesn't matter. We have all of those stays intact with us, unless, of course, we are in very, very bad situation, such as maybe we're in the middle of immense chaos, immense natural calamity, man-made problems, and so on. Otherwise, every one of those qualities are intact. We are born with it, we are living with it, and so therefore it's very easy to tap into it. It's a vast wealth that we are living with every day. What we see right in front of us, what we hear, what we can taste, what we can touch, all of those are very, very spiritual. And so therefore, we must never disregard them at all. And separate them, most importantly. Of course, there are desperate times where we have to somehow have no choice but to separate those. Meaning that to separate the mundane life and the spiritual life, the spiritual aspects of it. But otherwise, we are already born with everything in a sort of a harmonious state. Nothing is separate, actually. Whatever is mundane is spiritual, and whatever is spiritual is equally mundane, equally simple. And so therefore, we have the qualities right here, right now, with us. All we have to do is just give it a little bit of what seems like effort, what seems like it takes courage to begin it, to open it. And then once we get used to it, it just follows effortlessly. And that's how actually all the great, each being is able to become a Bodhisattva in the first place, and secondly, or lastly, become a Buddha. It's not because it's so hard that say that somehow, in some way, they're able to reach the summit, and then somehow they're able to carve their name on that peak of the mountain or whatever, and say that I was here, and then you are enlightened. And what happens afterwards, whether you have climbed down or whether you have frozen up on that plateau, it's dismissed. It's not in that sense at all. So whoever reached the summit must come down, and there is no shame in it. That's the thing. Meaning that I say it's normal. It's a very normal process of it, going up and down. I will not stay forever at the bottom. I will not stay forever at the top. It's the journey itself. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes you're in the middle, and it's very, very normal. That's the part of it. That's the part of living a life, I suppose. So therefore, the reaching of a state of Buddhahood is not reaching. It's not just about reaching the peak of it, to the peak of the mountain. course, it is reaching just the opposite, of course. Reaching the summit is just an example, it's just a metaphor. So, if you're able to understand that, then somehow it makes us feel a little bit comfortable to give that start, as I was saying, to give that initial sort of push. And afterwards, it is said that once you have that ball rolling, then it's excitement and joy after joy. That every roller coaster ride is an exciting one, it's an enjoyable one, and they never feel put off by it. They never feel tired of it. They never feel bored of it. It's every little up and down is equally interesting, and to a point where you just become completely used to it. That is enough for me. Then nothing matters anymore. Whether you are the wise person or whether you are a fool, it does not matter. It's the same. So, and therefore, of course, we have many depictions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the form of fools, actually, in various cultures. And often, of course, according to what we know so far, is that, of course, we always try to think of the enlightened beings as a majestic person, a very divine person, and so on, which we have, of course. But equally, we have countless of fools. And what they're trying to say is that it's just it's the journey that counts. And that's, I think, it's very, very touching, at least to me. And so when we say taking refuge, initially what we need is, if we go about it in a traditional way, is that we need to have trust, confidence in God, in causality, to begin with. That everything is perfect, flawless. Everything functions. Nothing is sort of out of service. Nothing is sort of hanging. As we are very used to technology, of course, we have these various terminologies and ideas about systems that hangs, that stalls, that delays. It says loading. It's most frustrating, even if it's just for a second. And the thing is that the garden is flawless. It doesn't hang onto anything. It just functions perfectly. Just like an echo, just like a bounce of a ball, it just does exactly and flawlessly. And so therefore, developing the courage to accept the Dharma, to accept the causality. Not because someone said it is that way, that you must follow it because it is that way, but because by itself, without having any kind of plan, organization, setup, format, it just by itself, naturally, is flawless. And so this kind of devotion is very, very important. And so one of the most important objects of trust that we need to have as a practitioner is the idea of impermanence, and particularly the impermanence of life. In plain words, death. It's very, very important. that we have to have a sense of trust that this is a part of this whole experience. Of course, having said that, it's not so that there is sort of a mystical finale at the end of things that comes abruptly. But every process of life, every moment of life, it comes to an end. That as we speak, and as we listen, and as we contemplate, each of those experiences has a beginning and has an end. And so therefore, somehow we try to find and develop this courage to be able to accept that. And as long as there's a beginning, there is an end. It's natural, it's flawless. No because someone said so, or someone put it there, but it just goes like that. Goes together. Harmoniously, naturally. So, acceptance of this, or trust in this, or confidence in this, sort of flow, is very, very important in order to take refuge. Otherwise, if you have a solid idea about the way we think, how we are supposed to live, how we are supposed to be, how we are supposed to be, how we are supposed to talk and walk and all that, then the refuge will somehow not meet, the practice will somehow not meet at all. It will always have a gap. And we can of course force it, of course. It's like having to play with the two sort of opposite ends of the magnet and try to put together. I have tried that. I used to be fascinated. I used to actually destroy speakers. It was in those days at 95, 96. Many of you have given me all kinds of wonderful gifts. One of those was speakers, portable speakers. And just like any other child, of course, at the end of the day, it's about wrecking those things. So I wrecked them to bits. And finally I saw what was giving this sound. And I realized that it's these magnets, these rings of magnets, that was giving the sound. And I was surprised just how they functioned. From the opposite ends, it would, of course, glue, and the other opposite ends would, of course, simply not glue together at all, no matter how much you force it. So, in the same way, I think that's how it functions. So, we have to, it's very sort of contradictory in some ways, I suppose, and ironic in some ways, that we have to somehow be relaxed about that fact, that everything that has a beginning must have an end. Only then we will be able to then find a sort of a natural cue into the practice, because the practice goes with that, and very naturally. Then we don't have to force ourselves to practice. That's it. Otherwise, often we come across this challenge that we have to force ourselves. We must have one particular day for spirituality. We must have one holy day, holy time, holy hour, and holy minute. Of course, it's very noble of ourselves to think in that way, to force ourselves in that way, but it never lasts, I think. After some time, no matter how forceful we are, after some time that begins to somehow not work at all. And we have no other way but to have a reset. course, the initial period is kind of frightening and equally sort of exciting. And for a beginning, it's kind of interesting. But of course, it never lasts. You have to do the repetition of that research all over again. And that's how it explains our rebirth in a way, the samsaric rebirth. That at some point, the body cannot take it, the mind cannot take it, and it just simply needs a reset. And of course it resets, and there's a particular period where we feel quite interesting, curious, like those we've all been there, yes. And then once we think we become now more serious, intellect, more mature, that's more or less the time we begin to feel that I think it's just we're right around the corner of switching to the reset button again. So whereas the few of the individuals who have somehow found their way is that they have already somehow found a way to accept that whatever has a beginning has an end. And they have accepted that. And as a result of it, then they are able to embark on very, very ambitious journeys. From our perspective, it looks as if they are fearless, completely fearless. It's not that they are completely fearless, of course they have fear. It's not that they are numb. It's not that they have no feelings at all. They have everything, that's just the exact amount of curiosity, excitement that we will all have. But somehow they're able to go through with it because they have accepted one very simple fact that it has happened. And you can do nothing about it. There's nothing you can do about it. That no matter how successful you are, no matter how powerful you are, how fortunate you are, and how famous you are, it just does not matter. And of course, that fact, of course, we often, when we don't know how to regard that fact, we name it in various ways. Divinity, force of the universe, time, a divine being, whatever. But these individuals, what I mean is Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, those who become, at the end of the day, Buddha or Bodhisattvas, and eventually become Buddhas, but they understand is that somehow there is no need to label anything to those facts. And they're very practical about it, and so therefore they accept those facts very practically. And as a result of it, then they're able to embark on the most ambitious journeys. And so, if they have to take care, if it comes to a point where they have to do things in terms of to protect others, to benefit others, to liberate others, however long it may take, however how big that journey may be, it just does not matter. Because they have accepted those simple facts, and that they are able to go through with it, not just in a very practical manner, but they're able to find joy in it as well. In a way, some sort of excitement as well that goes with it. They see the beauty of this, fragility of this task, fragility of this, vulnerability of this journey, and it makes it all the more interesting. And I think that's the kind of excitement that we have to have, that's the kind of curiosity we have to have, that's the kind of courage that we have to have in order to practice any form. So if it's refuge to begin with, the same. If it's something else after that, the same. That particular enthusiasm must never be lost. Of course, whether then becomes a task, of course. When I say that it must never be lost. But that's the irony, I think, that to begin with, somehow there is no profound or perfect way to begin. So, if the grandmother says, you must cook it this way, even though you kind of know that, even though you must have by now become a sort of an experienced chef, and you know that no, this sauce doesn't go with that at all. But somehow you have to go through with it. And whatever this grandma says, you just go with it. And at the end of the day, the most amazing part, the most miraculous part is that it comes out perfectly. And you are kind of flabbergasted because all those months and years of training that you went through to become a very famous chef meant nothing. But you are humbled by these very simple procedures that this person is giving to you. And so therefore, yeah, I think that's the kind of selflessness, that's the kind of courage that we have to have. Courage to be selflessness, I think. Courage to be selfless. Only then we are able to find enthusiasm, find quality in Buddhas. Finding qualities in Buddhas in terms of what is a very, very sort of colloquial way of describing it. Finding quality in terms of seeing, witnessing the benefits, witnessing the qualities of the enlightened state. A state of awareness, meaning a state of awareness where it is not altered, not fixed, set up by any kind of thought process, concepts, ideas. That enlightened state in a way that is completely spontaneous. That's the state of refuge we are seeking, actually. A state where it's completely spontaneous. And that's something that we cannot imagine, actually. And it's logical that we cannot imagine it because imagination itself is a part of concept. That it's a part of concept, it's a hand of concept, it's a tool of concept. So therefore, of course, those are two different things. And so therefore, a spontaneous phenomena is just it's unimaginable, beyond concept. Beyond concept, whenever we talk about that, it's a bit dull in a way. It's difficult to describe it. But it's a thing that we experience every day. If you ask, no matter how learned someone is, no matter how scholarly someone is, that if you ask them to describe it, catch that moment, whatever they experienced so far, and describe it. It's just someone sneezed. And ask that very learned person to describe that experience. That person will never he or she produces to describe it. It will never get it right. And it's the same thing. It's like a sickness actually. For example, when we have headaches, or we have a stomach upset, or we have a physical symptom, I think it's a very practical way to describe it. When we experience it, it's very, very vivid, it's very clear, and we know exactly what's happening more or less. Just we don't have the words to describe it, of course. And then we go to the doctor, and we make an appointment. And this doctor, of course, may be quite kind, and so lends you enough time and ear to let you describe what you experience. But of course, by the time we reach this doctor, of course, the symptom is gone. So all you can do is just try to remember that experience and then describe it. And it will never do justice, of course. And this doctor is sort of trying to, of course, figure out exactly what you're going through. But of course, equally he knows the same thing of what you're going through. And so, of course, at the end of the day, just for satisfaction from both ends, one goes through a particular prescription. Just to satisfy them. At least we do something about it. But whether it's really going to deal with the symptom, of course, there is no way of knowing it. It's the same thing, I think. But if you have really put it into words, it's impossible. Yeah, there is something. And that's why we describe it as unimaginable, beyond imagination, beyond concept, because we simply cannot catch it. It's like when we experience a breeze, we do experience it. We can feel it right on our face. Depending on, of course, how strong the breeze is. But if you try to capture it, it's impossible. No matter what kind of technology you have, you will never be able to capture it. Same thing. So, yeah, so that's the kind of, I think, attitude that we have to have when it comes to any part of the practice, any part of engagement to practice. So now the state of this what we call enlightened state is, as I said till now, it's just like that. It's indescribable, yet there is definitely something. And can be acquired just like buying an item from a shelf? Definitely. Is the procedure like that? Similar, yes. And therefore, according to the procedure, then we have a beginning, a middle, and end. And so therefore we have a beginning here. And therefore we try to now focus on the benefit of that, benefit of as I said till now, this effortless part. That you don't need any kind of effort to name it, to conceptualize it, to grasp it. those kind of exertions, right there and then we can experience it. Yeah. For example, if you open our eyes, unless of course we have faults with our faculties, the moment we open our eyes, we will see whatever is in front of us, and that is it. And it's not good or bad or better or worse or right or wrong. It's just, it is what it is. And that's it. And so therefore, that's what we're trying to take, well, when you say refuge into, it sounds weird, but that's what we're trying to find, that's what we're trying to trust. And as we trust more and more, then somehow in time, then we're able to let go of this part where we exert energy, part where we put effort. To a point where it just becomes blurry now, that the part where we put energy and the part where we put effort and the part where it becomes effortless, it just becomes inseparable. That's when it becomes natural. What I heard is that sometimes you have to smack the bottom of a newly born baby so that it begins to breathe, yes, through his or her nostrils. Otherwise it has no idea about how to breathe. And so therefore, of course, initially it needs a bit of effort, but after some time it becomes natural. Then we don't even have to think about it, whether we are eating or walking or sleeping, we'll just breathe and breathe. So in the same way, it needs that initial, of course, push. But once it's initiated, then it just goes effortlessly. So the idea of the Buddha Dharma, or the path, is equally a part of pushing ourselves. In the initial period, there's a part where we have a conceptual part of all this process, which is presented as a tool, as a path. And it begins very simple. It can start from anywhere. We can start from whatever we are interested in. So that's why the presentation of what is known as the six paramitas, the six perfections, it's a very, very interesting one, very wide-ranged description of what this path is. Meaning that every one of us, we are natural to exchange, to the idea of exchange, to the idea of giving and taking, breathing in and breathing out, having a rhythm to one's heart in terms of systolic and diastolic. It's just natural to us. And in terms of rhythm, bum, 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 bum. But it's also, of course, which is presented as an ethical sort of behavior, that it has its own sort of system, governing system, and how much of a pressure it needs, how much of a oxygen it needs, how much of a whatever mineral, protein, carbohydrate it needs, all of it, that it has its own sort of rhythm. And so therefore, that accordingly then natural. And so we can begin from anywhere, any element, whatever element we are used to. And that is the path. That then whatever part of it we are most interested in, if we are sort of interested and fascinated about the rhythm, then accordingly. And if you are interested about the preciseness of these rhythms, then accordingly. And if it is about, the quality of it, the benefit of it, then accordingly. Those three parts are basically interpretations of what is known as the practice of ethic, samadhi, and wisdom. So therefore, each of those are paths, practices, the things that are tangible, doable in a way that we can be aware of, not really something that we can hold and touch in a way, but sort of we can be aware of these happenings. We can be aware of these happenings that we are born with, such as the rhythm of our heart, something that we are born with. And the part of the practice is about becoming aware of that happening. And then we identify that part of awareness as doing. Otherwise there is no separate doing. We like to sometimes, of course, satisfy ourselves that we are doing something, of course, separately. And if it helps, of course, if you get a kick out of that, by all means. But otherwise, there is no real need for it to make it separate. It's the same thing. All we are trying to do is just becoming aware of it. And so therefore, the part of the devotion and trust and refuge in the Dharma, in the path, is that we begin to recognize that the path itself is not something really a separate thing from what we do every day. For example, if our heart pumps, thumps, if we breathe, if we awake, if we sleep, if we dream, if we eat, if we walk, if we talk, that is not separate from anything. Because there is no separate phenomenon from all of that. Because it's just, everything is just going in succession, in a stream, one after another, it goes harmoniously together. And so therefore, the form part of the practice, the path of the practice that we are focusing on is just, at the end of the day, it's just a way to make ourselves aware, make ourselves, awake ourselves to recognize, okay, this is what is happening. And if you're able to recognize it that way, then every little experience, minute or the opposite, everything is practice and everything is spiritual. Even if we scratch, even if we sneeze, even if we, whatever we do, conscious or unconscious, that all of them are equally spiritual. Then, recognizing that, then we begin to have this, we will develop this immense joy that we are never separate from our practice. We are never separate from our path. We are never separate from the conduct. That's how a bodhisattva is able to carry on and never develop any kind of burden or feel that what they're doing is a sort of a sense of a duty. That they are the sons or daughters of the victor, and as a result of it now they must live up to their image of their parents, and as a result of it, it's just duty after duty. So there's never that burden at all. It's, in fact, they just enjoy what they do because they can see the quality in it. So I think that's one of the ways we can engage with the practice of refuge, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So Sangha in a way that at the end of the day, who is the real Sangha is. Because we have a lot of different ways of interpreting that. Some as internal, some as external, some as between. Because we'll never be able to get to the bottom of it. But at the end of the day, the real Sangha, of course, is the part where we have this eagerness, I think. This is just personal interpretation. Eagerness is the part where we have enthusiasm, where we have the eagerness. I would say particularly the enthusiasm part. About, first of all, seeing the quality, the Buddhahood, of course, the enlightened state, and then seeing clearly the path, that it's inseparable, and that it's right in front of us, and that you're living it, that you're never separate from it. And it's the part where it's the part of the enthusiasm as an individual, I suppose, as the person who's enthusiastic. And that's Sangha. And as long as you have that enthusiastic perspective, scope, then what happens is that then you begin to see every little occurrences around you, be it animate or inanimate, all of them begins to somehow, so to speak to you, talk to you, in a way as if they're all encouraging, as if each event is another form of encouragement. And so of course we describe that as enlightened beings, realized beings. Because we don't recognize inanimate object as a stone as realized. We don't recognize a stream of water as realized. Because we have a very strong distinction between what can be realized and what cannot be realized, of course. And so therefore we feel very confident and safe that it has to be someone who's breathing and living and who has a sense of pain and happiness and so on. And so of course, to someone who has a real enthusiasm, to someone who has a real sense of Sangha, then I think there isn't that at all. And that every occasion is the Sangha, is the support system, is the assembly of merit. Meaning that every little more than fortune, every misfortune is your support system, is your assembly of merit. Because more misfortune you have, the more merit you will be able to accumulate. And so therefore, everything begins to speak to you in the most positive manner. And that is Sangha. And so therefore, you don't need to look for a Sangha, you don't need to sort of glue yourself around to a Sangha. It's just right there in front of you. So that's the kind of, I think, that's the way we, I think all in all, that's the way we go about it. Of course, it comes naturally to my lips to say that's the way we're supposed to go about it, but then it becomes a forceful exertion. And so therefore, that's the way it goes. So if you have that kind of idea, then we can have some idea about, we will be a little bit more familiar with performing the rituals, performing the customs in the way we have done so far with the practice of refuge. As with everything, we all need a sense of inspiration, and often we are more inspired, I think, generally, I suppose. To the individual, it differs, but to the individual, often we are always inspired to see something charismatic, to see something more than something, maybe someone that is very charismatic, that is very impressive. Then we are naturally drawn to it, like a moth to a flame, in a way. No matter how sophisticated we are, no matter how educated we are, no matter how learned we are, how modern we are, at the end of the day, some impressive object immediately commands our sort of attention. And so therefore, every now and then, just to soothe that, let's say, hunger, then a historical Buddha appears every now and then. Otherwise, of course, Buddha is everywhere, of course. Just like, as I said, the sun, it appears in all forms, works in mysterious ways. So in order to sort of quench that impressive need for impressive things, then every now and then a historical Buddha will appear and perform the 12 deeds, and then for centuries and millennia we are just captivated by that, and we are so captivated that we cannot even blink, that we are just it's like as if a very powerful flash has flashed up on you, and whether you actually blink or not, it doesn't matter. All you see is light. It's exactly for that kind of reasons that a most miraculous being comes into being. And it commands great, of course, respect and devotion. And of course, their appearances are such, of course, that they appear exactly at the right time in a way, which is contradictory to all the things I've said so far. Right time in a way that right time being at any time. So basically they will just appear over and over again. It's endless. It's just like breathing. And they will appear, disappear, appear, disappear. And often more than the appearing part, the disappearance part is most fascinating. Because that's when we become awakened from our fascination, actually. When it appears, it's fascinating. It's like a thunder out of a very, very dark sky, of course. It's fascinating, but when it disappears, that's when we will, when it appears, it gives the birth of a fascination, and it has its own benefit. But when it disappears, then it gives the birth of, the fascination dies. And that's when again a new, let's say, sensation is not the right word, but somehow we will have a scope of something totally fresh, and it wakes us even more. It's like seeing the end of the world, let's say. Seeing the end of maybe seeing the end of the sun, the cycle of the moon, or the stars. That it has a tremendous ability to awake you from whatever absorption we are in, whatever distraction we are in, and it has the ability and the power to wake you. And it's one of the most powerful phenomena. And that is equally the part of the activity of the Buddhas. And so therefore, in a way, of course, it shows a way that, of course, there's never a wrong time, there's never a wrong moment. Every moment is right. Both the appearance and the disappearance. And so, of course, that I took a little detour, I got a little bit sidetracked. But coming back to your point, it's this impressive figure that is depicted and defined as the enlightened being, the enlightened person, it is called the Buddha, the Vitas refugee. And so now we'll go straight forward. Distracted there. So now, all in all, to summarize, it is in these sort of ways that we have to go through the practice of taking the refuge. And so I would like to ask all of you to formally. Of course, at the back of your mind, you have to know that all of this is just a trick. You have to have that. There's like a little switch at the back of you. You cannot take it too seriously. But for the time being, we have to take it seriously. And so, for that duration, when we take it seriously, then we have to go all out, as if we have nothing to lose. And so, therefore we meditate the Buddha, and in this case the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, and then the Dharma, the path, of course it's very redundant, of course, but nevertheless in the format of literature and instructions, guides, in a sense of text, of course, behind the Buddha, and then around the Buddha and the form of the Buddha and the form of the Dharma text, then we meditate. These are the sanghas. So I would say in this case we meditate countless and countless of forms of genesics around all of that. And I myself found it very impressive to look at of course, into space, and there we see, of course, magnificent, of course, formations of universes, and these gigantic formations of nebulas and clouds of gases and whatnot. But I try to tell myself that, okay, that's how vast and impressive the formations of the Sangha must be around the Buddha. And so in a similar way, I think you can imagine, if you're comfortable with that sort of visualization. And so in front of you, meditate that the very aim of your interest, the enlightened state, is represented in the form of the Buddha, the historical Buddha, and the very path that you are equally interested to take is represented by the Dharma text, and the Sangha is represented by the genesics are the very enthusiasm, the very interest that you have towards the enlightened ways. And with that, then I would like you to repeat the words. So, che jamdudamba lembar deba de shindo lek kunjo somla jamdo jibane ko tokoro juru shesombe pe shindo che jamdudamba lembar jawo nembe bi jedunze pa rashu. Now please repeat after me.